basin development authorities and in the headquarters of the ministry. We want to make use of what we have there for rural industrialization, fabrication of small-scale agro-industrial machines which are already in vogue. We have the Water Resources Institute here in Kaduna, which we can use to train people in various fields of endeavor, especially when it comes to water-related management. So this is the aspect. And by this reorganization, as I said, perhaps to complete the reorganization, probably more jobs may even be created, because instead of 21 offices of DFRI in states, now we shall have 30 offices in all the 30 states of the Federation and an office in Abuja. This will enable us to implement directly federal government rural development efforts in the states. We shall, in the process, also collaborate with states so that where states require us to implement certain projects in their states which are of their own conception, we will work out modus operandi of financing plan and implementation plan. As far as our own programs are concerned, we are aware that we have to collaborate with states and local governments who are actually on the ground, and our programs will respond to the yearnings of the people. In other words, we will encourage development from below, planning from below, rather than planning from above. So any programs we come up is so designed that it will not be a superimposed program, but rather a program that is conceived from below, and we work up until the actual program is finalized at national level, and then same process is applied in the implementation.
Recently, sir, there was a circular from your ministry requesting those who are seconded from the Ministry of Agriculture to DFRI.
Certain functions of DFRI which we are incapable of carrying out. In other words, we are comparatively disadvantaged to carry them out properly. In the Ministry of Water Resources and Rural Development, we are less capable to carry out agricultural activities, agricultural extension services, veterinary extension services, seed multiplication. We feel these should go to areas like Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Agriculture and Natural Resources, who have already units to deal with cooperatives. They already have Department of Livestock Services, so they can best work out how to implement that. So we retain those areas like rural electricity supply. We noticed that Ministry of Power and Steel already has a rural electrification unit in their ministry. So why should we take it over while there are people who are specialists in that? So we leave that to Ministry of Power and Steel, and then we take on what we have, equipment and people to carry out on the ground. You're welcome.
Final question, sir. Earlier on you said you were the trade fair to explore the possibilities of providing education and awareness of what is on ground behind your ministry. Specifically, I want to know what the discussion you have with the
Well, Lagos State Military Administrator, I told him I'm one of his citizens, and beyond that we haven't had any discussions. But I seized an opportunity to discuss, to look at some of the pavilions. If you look at most of the pavilions, state pavilions, they depict rural industrial potentialities, which is also part of my schedule of duty. And I think if all the potentialities one has seen, the selected few one has seen, if all of them are developed, you see that Nigeria has the potentiality of having rural-based cottage industries. It is not just by building large-scale industries that a nation grows. It is it is a kind of aggregation of small-scale efforts, and these are collected together. Some of them are marketable outside to earn foreign exchange. Some of them that are like some cloth weaving that may be happening in Ibadan may be very much marketable in Kaduna. Some of them which is happening in Birnin Kebbi may be very marketable in Ibadan, Lagos, and so on. So this aspect has to be explored and properly organized. The other aspect, I think I saw my Egyptian friends who have succeeded in producing some industrial items, some of them on water pumps and so on, under license from some from advanced countries like Japan and Germany. And I feel since we already have a memorandum of understanding with them, there should be no reason why we should not explore possibilities of them also coming into joint partnership with our Nigerian entrepreneur to produce the same items in Nigeria instead of we importing them from outside. If you look at their pavilion, the quality is super, and there is no reason why we cannot collaborate with them to start producing them here in Nigeria. And we have such a large market, and we also are sure of market outside, especially our neighbors in the Western.
Formally tonight, after the exhibition, I am very, very impressed, and I am extremely happy that we have a successful show today, which is Lagos Day. I am also happy that this exhibition is my very first official engagement after I have taken the oath of office as the Commissioner for Commerce and Welfare. Welfare in the sense of providing services to aid your various organizations. Once again, I want to seize the opportunity to thank the Information Ministry, the Department of Culture, all the officers of my ministry, and every one of you who by one way or the other have contributed to our success. So finally, I say a big thank you to all of you.
Strategy is pressing the Propaganda State Kaduna International Trade Fair, so that the best is yet to come. For private sectors, there is always room for improvement in any human. Why did you make any
This is being organized by the Chamber of Commerce. They have their own program. We are not. The governor's speech represents the policy, the stance, and the view of the state. We will
we must have missed ourselves.
succeed yearly, and we have been able to keep on because of the patronage your government is giving to us. So we are really very happy, and we thank you also for sparing the time to come and visit us today. And as a token of our love, it is nothing, please. We want you to accept it.
What effort is your administration making to improve water supply in the state, sir?
A lot of projects have been put into place. There are so many schemes going on, and with the assistance of the factory there, we should be able to achieve our goals in terms of water supply.
Okay, some time ago, sir, you mentioned in your address that the state government will soon, will in not too distant future, have its own drug manufacturing company. May we know what machineries you put in place to make the dream realizable?
Well, everything has been put into motion. All necessary steps have been taken in this direction.
Congratulations and best wishes on your appointment as the military administrator of Lagos State. I must admit that the challenge inherent in your office is enormous and responsibilities rather daunting. But judging from your people of this state, I was elected executive chairman of an industrial establishment whose headquarters are based in the state. I consider it proper to seize this opportunity to pay you a courtesy visit as the state's #1 citizen. Lagos State, Your Excellency, might have that position as the commercial nerve center of the country decision-making process. This is perhaps a real have started to address the various seemingly intractable problems that have plagued the state for some time before your arrival on the scene of governance. I have no doubt in my mind that with the unwavering determination already being demonstrated in the handling of some of the levies to a level that will be mutually beneficial to both parties. I wish to express my sincere appreciation to you, sir, for finding time out of your very crowded schedule to grant me and my entourage audience, and assure you of our unflinching support for your administration's progressive
made to give to me in details the interactions as it affects your company and some of the local government in which lands are located. It is obvious that your company has continued to occupy a very enviable position in terms of your continuous contribution to the economic progress of this country. Your efforts have always been notable, and I want to urge you not to relent, but continue in the same vein, that so that at the end of the day, we do hope that others will emulate your aggressive posture to speedy recovery, and eventually we shall get our country on the right path economically. I have noted with concern to the area of friction between your company and some of the executives of the local government. This will engage my attention and it will be adequately addressed. I do know, though I don't want to sound like an Oliver Twist, that while we do appreciate your contributions, there are still areas of need for this government to forge ahead. You know them too well. I won't want to bother you by enumerating them, and I just want to plead once more that please don't be tired of requests. Come calling. Please do give your advice.
Excellency, the military administrator of
I've been trying to correct them, but some people will not listen.
On behalf of members from my great pleasure in meeting you personally for the first time since you assumed office in Lagos State. I have with me here, sir, members of the Executive Council. Before I go into details, Faduba is the Secretary of the NUJ. Mr. J.J. Odebi is the first Vice Chairman.
Please to meet you, sir.
Elumoi is the Financial Secretary.
Please to meet you.
Mr. Femi Akintobi will give you a brief attends to the needs of about 65% of Nigerian journalists. And so rightly, we often refer to Lagos State as the headquarters of the Nigerian media. And under our council in Lagos State, we have everything. That's right. We have 31 recognized media establishments grouped under the council. A number of media establishments operating in the Lagos area, particularly in Lagos State, that are not yet
recognized by the Lagos NUJ or by the NUJ as a 14.
Maybe I said what, I don't know.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry, please. Pardon my being I'm Ladi Lawal, I'm the chairman of the council.
Pleased to meet you.
Thank you very much. So we have a few media houses we find operating in the state that are not recognized, and we are making efforts to ensure that they comply with the relevant regulations and regularize their membership with the NUJ. But from the professional aspect, we take care of the professional. Not all those that are also recognized by the state that are also recognized by the NUJ. We also make some demands on them before you are recognized. Even if you are recognized by law, we also make some professional, some ethical demands which you have to fulfill in the establishments that are recognized. And the activities of our councils, if I may let you into some of them, are quite enormous, but we can generally group them under two broad categories. We attend mainly to the welfare needs and the professional duties of our members in the state, and I did say that perhaps we are a super mini state because we have to service the needs of about 65% of Nigerian journalists, all of them operating in Lagos. And we're able to do this through the various departments we have created. We have about 9 departments in all, and some of these departments include that on education, that on professional services, we have one on human rights, we have one on social services, and we have one specifically called welfare department, because in Lagos there is no way you want to live here that you don't talk about welfare. There are problems, transportation problems, housing problems and all that, and our members also operate in Lagos and they have all these problems. So we have to set up a special unit to attend to some of these needs. And so far, the departments have been running their schemes, particularly in the area of the defense of our members' rights, the area of their condition of service, the area of their professional performance, and of course, like I did mention, in the area of their welfare. This is what we do routinely in the NUJ. We are having the rare privilege and opportunity as citizens to pay a costly visit on the #1 citizen, as we are the chief executive of the state. We think, well, we as your subjects should let you know some of the things we are doing so that you can appreciate that they are within the ambits of the law. You can begin to have some interest in what we do beyond what you are told or what you perceive that they might be doing in that NUJ. For our members, it is a pity my veteran in the profession and senior colleague, in fact a mentor, a father, Alaji Adija to explain to you the details of our own program, so that perhaps there could be a way it could be harmonized, or there could also be a way you could also enjoin other professional organizations to follow suit. We have the housing program under which we intend to put up housing units for our members in Lagos. We are not very rich, sir, but within the limits we can stretch ourselves, we try to do certain things for our members. Another project that is on course right now, and which we hope will take off by October this year, when we'll have our first intake, is the NUJ Nursery and Primary School. The planning for the project started about 2 years ago. We are doing everything possible to get it off the ground this year. We have made necessary contact at the relevant ministry, and they have told us what to do. We are now in the process of acquiring a temporary site for the school, consequent upon which will look for a permanent site and begin development of a permanent site. We also have the Lagos Energy Resource Center. We took a look at our profession. We also took a look at Lagos State as a territory, and we also took a look at our media establishments, and we found out that in the area of research and documentation, perhaps not much is being done, either at the state level, the level of the proprietors who own the media establishments. And we think the professional organization of journalists should come into fill the void. So we conceived this idea of setting up a resource center, which will be more than a library, as we now have. It will involve itself in media research, media documentation, and all that. And we think it will also be of great assistance to the state and to the also the international media and agencies who might be interested in what the Nigerian media, in what they do, and how they relate to the environment. We think there should be a scientific method of keeping all these records rather than just relying on the archives of daily times operating in Lagos. But there are those who work for the Lagos State government, and we are very much concerned about the state of things in these establishments. I make particular reference to the state radio and television and the state-owned newspaper, the Lagos Horizon. I will come back to the ministry, but first permit me to address the question of the state radio and television. It is not a new subject, but we just thought we should also draw the attention of your own administration to it, because it's a matter that has been giving us some concern for some time. And we have also discussed the project with successive governments. I recall that it was in this same conference hall that we met with the then military governor, in fact, before Coleradio Asake, now then Coleradio Asake. We also discussed with, I think, Mike Aigbe, I'm not mentioned, who was before him on the state of things. We were sure that things would move, and under then Coleradio Asake, we observed that there was some progress, particularly on the FM station that is being built. I'm not sure that we have been able to commission that project. Now, we're working very hard towards this commissioning, but unfortunately, that has not happened. Apart from that, we are very much concerned about the deplorable state of the equipment there and all that. And we have a very strong fear that we must prevent the collapse of these institutions by doing something urgently, because we recognize that the federal government is planning to license private radio stations and television stations. And if they come on stream, we are likely to witness an exodus of very good hands from in the state government employed to these new places, except maybe things are done to turn things around. For example, sir, I recognize that in the state radio and television stations, the use of stringers continue as though it is the normal thing in a state broadcasting station, whereas even private radio and television stations can take that risk. I have always advocated that it is not right, or it is not in the best interest of a state-controlled medium to entrust its sensitive operations entirely to stringers whose loyalty you cannot vouch for. And of course, since they are not regular staff, they might even decide they are not coming tomorrow, and there is something very important for the state to go on and all that. They will resort to fire brigade approach. And I have always said that it it is not the best thing that we can do to broadcasting. Having been in broadcasting myself for 15 years to these stations, so that they could work out their own revenue yielding formula. They could work out their own working conditions for their members. They could work out their own mode of operations. Of course, there will be the policy, making the policy guideline and all that will be approved by the states who owns it. Because we always say in the media that he who pays the piper dictates the tune. So there is no way we can really divorce ownership from our operations. They have enormous control. They do interfere day to day. We don't expect them to interfere day to day. But at least broad policy guidelines, what they want and all that, they have to lay that down. You as a journalist, you decide whether you agree and you want to work with them or you don't agree. You cannot work with that type of a setup. So we think, if you look at the question of the autonomy of these establishments, it will go a long way in helping them, even at the federal level. But we think the professionals there can do more than that. They know they can do more than that. We see it in their write-up. We see it in the innovations they want to bring to people and all that. But we feel they are strongly handicapped because of lack of autonomy. They should be allowed to run and raise their own funds and run their own shit beyond the information bureau now. We have seen it as beyond an organ to service the state administration alone. We have come to recognize it as a miniature news agency for the state activities. And we are suggesting that the state looks into the possibility of elevating it to that stature, while continuing with its role as the information bureau and what it's expected to do. But we think if it has some leverage, it will also now be able to service us more. We depend on them in radio, we depend on them on television to give us information about the state, authentic information about the state. Far more than we want to depend on another agency, or even on the federal agency, which of course I know has a metro desk that should also service Lagos State. But the truth is that the federal agency will definitely allocate a percentage, a defined percentage of its entire output to Lagos, because it has to administer to all the states in the federation. And if we have a bureau of information in Lagos, I believe most sincerely that with what they are doing now, we just need a redefining of their operations and all that, and they could penetrate the local governments more than they are doing now, and then they could service us with all the information we require, while they could also serve as a PR unit when there are grey areas, and they could let us have facts as they have. So we are in a way also asking that the state will begin to look at that bureau to see how it could be elevated, how it could be given the leverage to now go into the type of operations more as a news and public relations outreach than just a ministry to service the administration only. They should tell us about the state. Bringing to your notice that here in the state, the press corps has not done badly at all. The press corps at Alausa has not done badly. We have monitored their activities. At times we have sympathized with them when they go out with state officials and they return home battered and they are left in the cold. And we want to believe that these are unfortunate incidents, and maybe there could be a better work relationship between our members stationed at the State Secretariat and officials representing the government when they go out on assignment. We also want to plead with our members that while we recognize that we are doing our own professional duties, the fact that the operation we are to cover in nature might not be the routine assignment. It could have a military slant or a fire brigade slant or whatever slant it is. We should recognize this at all times and don't take the lead. To allow the person directing the operation to himself take the lead while we take the seat of the umpire. I won't say the background. The umpire sits at top. He sees what every other person is doing. So, but if you go into the court and something happens to you, you create problems for us. I think you create problems for the state. So I just want to plead with us that we try as much as possible to see our role as the role of an umpire and allow those who are to lead the operations to lead. State officials just let them or said they didn't even know that newsmen were to come there or whatever. So we think that there is always a manifest what we should cover. If we are not to cover, we should not be. In some other states, what they will have done in such instances is to withdraw newsmen until we are assured that they can operate with state officials. But we have enjoyed a very good relationship with Lagos State government. We also recognize that Lagos State is a miniature Nigeria as different from other states. And it's not at all time we want to do that kind of thing. That we are not doing service to the people of the state. So we have refrained from such extreme action. But we thought it was wrong because they have gone there and they were wearing the emblem of the state, which you as minister, and will be in the interest of the people that both institutions are supposed to serve rather than confrontation. So it is in this light that we have been exploring the possibility of seeing how we could reconcile or resolve the issue of guardian records with the state of from the press secretary, Mr. Shilong Okungambo, and we want to express our gratitude to Lagos State for saddling one of us with that responsibility, and it is our belief that we'll be able to discharge its responsibility creditably. But beyond that, I'm not an Aworiza, but we also observe that in your cabinet, yes, we don't have naturalists. That is right away. When I read the advertorial in the press about the observations by the community, the section of the state community, and I tried to analyze it, and I said to myself, is there a way we could reach these people and try to, we don't want to hold brief for the state, but to try to reach these people and try to explain to them that it might be very, very difficult for every qualified citizen, either Lagosian or Nigerian, to get every position he wants. And we should also let them know that even we journalists who are not represented on that cabinet, you know, there are doctors, there are engineers, there are computer analysts, but everything is step by step.
Well, it only confirms that they are good in their job. So keep it up. Well, I want to thank you for finding time to make this courtesy call and to express my delight to make it known that I'm fascinated by your laudable objective of this union, and I do hope that if you continue in the same spirit, with the same vigor, you will have presented a very nice image of the union, not only to the Lagosians, but to the Nigerians as a whole. I wouldn't want want to comment on everything you touch upon, but let me say one or two things. On the radio, TV, well, that will be the determining factor as to what level of autonomy or that should be accorded to outfit. But what way, I can assure you that whatever decision we reach, it will be in the interest of the establishment towards the enhancement of their goals and objectives. Well, the guardian issues, I know it will come up. I was damn too sure it will come up because the only way to become very popular with all papers, just laugh eternally. And you made it. I must express that I personally, and that is the view of the government, we are not too happy with the unfortunate incident. Because as far as I'm concerned, both government and the journalists were partners in progress. Because what we went to do there is not a criminal thing. It's a way of telling people that you can't take laws into your hands. And not many people will understand the essence of our going there if the journalists were not there to hear it with the people, to report exactly what we are doing. So through that, the people to judge our standing as to how correct we are, how wrong we were in our decisions. Well, we took steps to appeal to the patriotic sense of the journalists involved, and made sure that they were taken care of, because it was entirely an accident. The environmental task force has been moving around without any hitch. There must have been mistaken identity that day, and nobody will have done it deliberately, knowing that this is a child. And I must confess, I'm being sincere to all of you, that the ID card was not available as of that moment. It came later. Like I said, we tell the truth anyway I see it, and I stand by it. The worst that will happen is to say, leave this seat. I see after talent to go and command. That was what happened. And when I was told, I was not happy, and I personally, not that I delegated anybody, personally called the editor and gave my apology. I don't think there's anything left for me to have done. I haven't treated the jobs that were involved. I don't think there's anything any human being can do beyond those steps. I do agree that we run into accidents in the course of being on duty. I was away in freezing bullets in Somalia. My child was stolen from Jos. It's a professional answer. It comes. And if one has taken steps to go to that place, for me, just to prove that an accident has occurred, I telephone personally Guardian and give my apology for whatever happened. That should never happen again. Whether it is misconstrued for a kind of weakling on my part, I don't know. But if the journalists were treated, because if anybody, if it were not to be a task force, if any journalist fight a soldier on the road, I don't know if it would be easy to enter barrack to go and bring another soldier. I know that one for certain. No, let's be sincere. That ordinarily on the road you meet and there's a fight. I don't know if we get into that barrack and hold anybody responsible. We had it. It has occurred before. But I personally telephoned to give my apology. This is not the way we want to operate. We want you to project whatever we do. And this is what I told my say the truth. If I'm wrong, say it. Where I go wrong, I apologize. And I believe people will take it. After all, I'm human. And I'm liable to mistake. Just like any journalist or anybody, any human being at all. And if we have gone that far, I don't expect that I saw that even the officials should be cautious enough to make me to and say, look, we appreciate your effort and that we are not taking it. And we can try dialogue again and find a solution. And this is why I say, well, if they are taking us to court, so be it. We shed tears over that. And we will stop doing our duty. And that is the position in which that thing. I must confess that, I mean, human relations should go beyond whatever is other callings. But since it's in court, I have to comment on it because you mentioned it. But since it's in court, then we can as well make sure the court says we are alive with whatever they want. But I think it's a thing that will drag till the end of my time for media forum. In fact, I will have gone into that. But what has been militating against is that decision. I mean, it just has to do with the fact that we are not put everything in place. You will realize that up to now, no caretaker committee in the local government. And until everything is in place, and that's where the administration starts from the local government level. If we have everything in place, I should be able to tell you that this is what I've mandated them to do in this area, in that area. But when they are not in position, I may not be able to explain most of the things. Because what we want to see, I have done the write-up in my budget. We want to see those who are implementing. And until we have people in position at the local government level, one may not be too involved. I mean, we will not be able to explain what is going on. You have told me on the paper, on the pages of the paper, what I intended. Who are the executors of that plan? Those are the ones we're trying to. Maybe in the next 1 or 2 weeks, we may hear from Abuja. Those are the issues I want to touch upon. I will finally say thank you most sincerely, and I want to plead once again that we and your union, we are partners in progress. We are liable to mistakes, but what I'm saying, whether the issue is favorable or unfavorable to the government, please say the truth. Let the truth be the guiding factor. And we should not publish for the sake of playing to the gallery. I mean, by that, what I'm driving at is that there was a man UND is no longer with the Republic. Who is there now? You know what I mean? You know, I'm asking that question because initially when I came, I saw the publication. Otetola is making list of commissioners for Imola, published by the Republic. In the belief that I want to let people understand what I'm doing, I asked them to write a rejoinder to them that is unfair. Granted, I'm only, but I can think small. That there's nothing like that. And but the next thing I said is that they published my agenda perfectly, but they stand by their story that is authoritative, and that is my list. That's okay. You are sure of your fact. I'm sure of my story. When the list comes out, then we can cross-check and see who is telling the truth and who is telling it. I'm still waiting for that publication because we have had our commissioners in then, and the list did not tag at all. So I expect them to come up to say, okay, we took a bet with the administrator, we discovered that we missed the news. So that kind of thing is not, it can discourage a willing mind. That's why I say that. But the truth, let it be public. And I want to plead again that we should try and highlight every aspect of the performance of the government. There's hardly any newspaper I open now, they won't tell me the refuge is here. What are the appeals from the union to make the people living in that area that Their case is a case of this, I don't know the name, there's one tick also, like maggot. It normally afflicts a dog. Until he dies. And when the dog dies, he has no place to go to. He goes along with the dog. So, let our people realize that the government cannot do everything. You are now punched. You come on for Republicans to be a puncher.
Official.
Well, it won't not bad.
Many of them had found their place in the previous House of Assembly. And the Niger community seems to have been suffering from a major problem, that of eviction from one place to the other. From the records, they have been moved for about from the places of abode of the Niger, where you have the National Theatre in Togo, places occupied actually was built, or places inhabited by villages, riverine areas. The latest problem they have is the Badia Ajirobin problem. We thank Your Excellency for what you have done for them in the past. We thank you for even giving us time to come here and see you. Your Excellency might be wondering what is my locus in this situation? In the first place, as I said earlier, there are people from Ondo State. You know, they have their origin in Ondo State, and possibly I represent Ondo State in the Federal Executive Council. So naturally, when they have this sort of problem, I was the first person they thought of. And my husband too was an Elijah man. So married to them, so he was, yes. So I share their aspirations, I share their problems. So I'm part and parcel of them. Thank you, sir. One of them will read a small letter of appeal they have to you.
Excellency, letter of appeal. The main purpose of this letter of appeal is to trace the possession and occupation of the parcel of land known and referred to as Badia Ajiromi Jora, the larger community living in the area. It is also intended to plead with the state military administrator to spare the community or the pains of revoking the approval of occupational license granted to the larger community by Reverend Letter number LD127/S21 of 8 June 1972 from the Ministry of Works and Planning, Land Division, Letters Arboretum.
Establishment. My Honorable Commission, the larger community from Badia, paid this courtesy call and intimate me with the problems that have been facing the community. I have a strong belief that if we do continue to dialogue on issues affecting us, the government will be in position to do much things for everybody without any rancor. I must confess that I'm really sympathetic to your plight, to your experience, and but I think your experiences in terms of movement might not be unconnected with the fact that there's little of land for Lagos. And everywhere we feel it's reclaimable, that's why you find that you are staying too, and that's what has been responsible for, for the constant movement. that notwithstanding, I want to say seriously, and I want you to say with me. I do appreciate your love for being close to water. It has to do with your own traditional beginning, and it's a kind of your way, your own way of existing. But like I discussed with the Honorable Minister, a visit to Badia, which I paid, revealed a lot of things that as far as anybody is concerned, maybe by the time you go there, it was better. But if you want to be sincere, too, you find that that situation there now is no longer conducive for human living. Because we appreciate you wanting to be, to live your traditional way. And like I want to say, we have to look at it in the proper perspective. Because you are not existing for yourself alone now. You are Nigerians, and your welfare, your well-being is the concern of the government of Nigeria in general, and that of Lagos State in particular. When I got to know the fire incident, I paid a visit there, and I discovered that if you have to still continues to stay there, there's something must be done, and not in that same situation, which means we have to ask you to leave that place, make it much more habitable than what it is. There's fires are there, there's nothing anybody can do, because the firefighter cannot get them. The sanitation there is not good enough, because an outbreak of epidemic, then the whole of Lagos State will have a problem. And that's why I said, that place is not conducive the way it is for now. And I want to correct one impression, because I'm looked into it, that that place has ever since been acquired. You know it, and it was even cleared. It was as a result of the government not being in position to put what it wanted to put. That's why all these structures came up. I knew that one too well. And that's why I intimated the Honorable Minister with the situation. What I would want from you, so that you can help me too, is for us to sit down and look into where you are likely to go and stay with the assistance of the government, because that place is not conducive enough for anybody to stay. Because it had been done before. Something was supposed to be put there by the government, but because we all know what happened to our economy, things went bad, and they could no longer prosecute the project as designed place for people to stay in for now. The time you move in, well, it was fine, because I can imagine water from National Theatre to that point. Now everything has been reclaimed. And that one makes the whole position even worse, because if there were water up to that end like we have from the shores of the lagoon, then the situation wouldn't be the way it is. And that's not good enough for anybody at all. And that is why I propose that, okay, let me meet with you, with dialogue, and we put into plan. I don't want to say the law has said this and I come overnight with my goods. I know. It's not fair. And that's why I say I want to, I give the intention to meet with you through the minister, that okay, we can all discuss and reach a solution that will be acceptable to all of us. And I would very appreciate if that has not been thought of. I want you within the community to look into it. Tell me another place, if it means that we, the government, making acquisition near the lagoon or whatever, or near the water where we want to continue our traditional way of existing, then we shall be able to do that. That is my thinking for now, and we appreciate if you can deliberate, or if you are not in position to tell me anything now. Let's go and dialogue with our people back in that place and let them know the position of the state government